Here are the top stories for today, April 12, 2022. President Duterte assures the public of peaceful elections. Wearing a face mask will stay until the end of the Duterte administration. New number coding scheme is being proposed to address traffic in the metropolis. And over 8,000 individuals passed the bar exams this year. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. As the southern portion of the country continues to bear the brunt of agaton, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAG-ASA, said a new weather disturbance has entered the country. The new typhoon named Bashang has entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR, at 10 o'clock this morning. Tropical depression is forecast to deteriorate into a remnant low within the next 24 hours due to the combined effects of Typhoon Bashang, while the remnant of agaton will continue tracking generally eastward over the Philippine Sea as it becomes assimilated within the circulation of Bashang. Signal number 1 is up at the southern portion of Masbate, eastern Samar, northern Samar, Biliran, Leyte, southern Leyte, and the northeastern portion of Cebu, including Camotes Island. President Rodrigo Duterte scored higher approval and trust ratings just over 2 months before his term ends. A survey conducted by Publicis Asia showed 67.2% of the respondents had high approval of Duterte's performance as president over the past 12 months. Duterte's trustworthiness was rated high or very high based on 61.2% of respondents. Meanwhile, his disapproval rating was 15.2% and his low trust rating was at 16.6%. Publico said Duterte is on pace to become the first president to end his term with approval and trust ratings above 50%. On the other hand, the approval rating for Vice President Leni Robredo was at 32.3%. Senate President Vicente Tito Soto III's approval rating was at 38%. House Speaker Lord Alan Velasquez was at 23.8%, and Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo was at 23.7%. President Rodrigo Duterte reiterates that there should be no untoward incidents during the elections as he wants to end his term with a legacy of a clean and peaceful election. Elections will be held on the 9th of May 2022, while the overseas voting period is ongoing since April 10. The local absentee voting period is slated on April 27 until 29.
It is my commitment to the nation that the elections will be peaceful and free from violence, intimidation of voters. Huwag ninyong gawin yan because I would still be here to oversee the election.
Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte admits it is difficult to control the spread of fake news, be it in the government or the private sector. This as the president expressed irritation over reports that there is an excess of COVID-19 vaccines in the country.
Huwag kayong maniwala niya kasi yung in-order natin para sa lahat, tamang-tama lang para sa nakakaraming Pilipino.
To avoid falling for fake news, Duterte said the public should benefit from relying on trusted government officials and agencies. He said among the officials authorized to speak on COVID-19 matters are Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere and Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Communications Secretary Martin Andanar. Regular public addresses will also be held to inform the public of the government's policies and current activities. President Rodrigo Duterte said he is not keen on ditching the requirement of wearing face masks until his term ends. Despite a decline in the number of new COVID-19 cases, Duterte reiterated the need for the unvaccinated to avail of jabs to protect the body.
There is no way that masks will not be required. It will be a part of the protocol for a long time until the last day of my office. Yan ang order ko at yan ang sundin ninyo. Balang araw, hindi ko na problema yan. But I'm just advising ang ating mga kababayan na it is really important. We are not out of the woods actually. We are still in a bind.
President Rodrigo Roa Duterte expressed concern over the low COVID vaccination rate in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARM. Latest data show that only 27% of the region's 4.1 million residents are vaccinated. Duterte said the country would not be able to solve the COVID-19 problem if the residents in the region continue to refuse immunization.
Mga kapatid ko na Muslim, pati yung the guys running the barn, and like also to appeal to Chairman si Murad na kindly give a little push for the people there to get vaccinated. You will not be able to solve the problem. Because yung na bakunahan na, there is always the distinct possibility of ma-contaminate sila uli. There is no guarantee that it's not even a 90% guarantee that you will be immune from this virus. Ang problema, may itong animal na itong COVID sprouting into one after the other.
Still ahead, a new number coding scheme is being proposed to address traffic in the metropolis. And over 8,000 individuals passed the bar exams this year. We're back after a quick break. Keep it here on the PNA Newsroom. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed our lives for the worse. Lives and jobs were lost and economies reached a meltdown. Thanks to the arrival of safe and effective vaccines, we are one step closer to normalcy. It's time to do our part, get vaccinated for our safety and for our recovery.
You are there in that community, go there and have yourself vaccinated by any of the vaccines available. They are all potent, they are all effective. I would like to appeal to all our kababayans, please get vaccinated against COVID-19 and be the government partner in preventing further spread of the disease. I encourage you to get vaccinated as soon as possible time. These vaccines are safe and they are the key to reopening our society. The need for international solidarity and cooperation cannot be made clearer than this pandemic, because everyone is safe. No one is safe globally until everybody is safe.
Vaccines work. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, is targeting a 40% reduction in the number of vehicles on major roads by coming up with a new traffic coding scheme. The proposal would affect private vehicles as the MMDA wants to implement 2 days of coding for them. Under the new scheme, plate numbers ending 1 and 2 are prohibited every Monday and Wednesday. Those ending in 3 and 4 on Monday and Thursday, 5 and 6 every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 and 8 every Tuesday and Friday, and 9 and 0 every Wednesday and Friday. All public utility vehicles such as buses, jeepneys, taxis, and ride-hailing services will still follow their current coding scheme. The proposal has been submitted to the Metro Manila Council. Once approved, the new coding scheme will start by May 1st. A total of 8,241 law graduates passed the 2020 to 2021 bar examinations. The Supreme Court released today the list of bar exam passers, which make up 70% of the 11,402 examinees. This year, instead of announcing the top 10 passers, the High Court recognized 761 exemplary passers who scored 85 to 90%. 14 other bar takers were recognized for their excellent performance as they scored higher than 90%. Ateneo de Manila University topped the list of schools with the highest percentage of passing first-time takers at 99.6%. Meanwhile, the University of the Philippines had the most number of exemplary passers at 147. The bar exams was conducted on February 4 and 6 in 31 testing centers across the country. It was postponed for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This is also the first bar exams to be digitized and decentralized. The oath-taking of the new lawyers is scheduled on May 2nd, 2022. More provinces gear up for the anticipated influx of tourists in the different pilgrimage sites in their areas. The details from Marita Moahe.
In Central Luzon, motorist assistance teams are dispatched to several towns of the regions as part of the Lakbay Alalay program of the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH. With the anticipated influx of travelers in the region, the DPWH teams will be deployed in strategic areas of the highways to ensure hassle-free travel for vacationists and tourists. The DPWH will also provide reflectorized pavement markings to guide night driving motorists, as well as emergency vehicles and towing equipment. In the Cordillera region, more public utility vehicle drivers will be subjected to random drug testing to assure the safety of the commuting public. The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency in the region stressed the need for drug testing as several public utility buses have already been allowed to transport passengers to and from Baguio City and other parts of the region. So far, none of the tested drivers are positive for the illegal substance. In Western Visayas region, at least 1,700 police personnel are deployed to secure various strategic areas to ensure a peaceful and orderly observance of the Holy Week. All police units across the region are ordered to operationalize security and public safety plans and measures to prevent the occurrence of crimes. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Marita Moahe.
In the Bicol region, the Health Department reminded the public to spend the Lenten season in a solemn, safe, and COVID-free way. Ken Nuida of the DOH Region 5 Regional Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit cautioned devotees who self-flagellate to make sure that the materials to be used are clean and free of rust. He also reminds those who will participate in all Holy Week activities to properly wear their face masks, regularly sanitize their hands, and practice safe physical distancing. In Cebu City, preparations are underway to ensure crowd control as the local government allows the return of different religious events. Among the crowd-drawing sites and events are the Via Crucis, or Stations of the Cross, the tableau, or the motionless figures representing every scene of the Stations of the Cross, and the Holding Buhing Calvario, or Living Cavalry. The street play, which will be mixed with stage presentation of the Agony of Jesus at the patio of the Archdiocesan Shrine of San Nicolas de Tolentino. The reenactment of Crucifixion of Jesus, His 7 last words and his death will be staged at the Espina compound next Friday. Mayor Michael Rama gave the go signal for traditional Lenten activities as COVID-19 cases in the city decrease as more residents are now vaccinated. In our business news, the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, or BCDA, is inviting Taiwanese businesses to set up their operations in northern and central Luzon. In a statement, the BCDA said it has been engaging with Taiwan-based enterprises to look into expanding in Luzon. BCDA Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Eileen Sosa said, Poro Point is the nearest BCDA property to Taiwan and the most ideal for locators as it has an airport, a seaport, and a tourism complex. Zosa also highlighted opportunities in New Clark City in Central Luzon, which is eyed to be the country's first smart, green, and resilient metropolis. She said with build projects in the pipeline for Central Luzon, New Clark City will offer an investor-friendly environment for businesses. More stories from the newsroom. The Commission on Elections in Iligan reminds local candidates against posting of campaign materials on trees. And Vatican City is springing back to life 2 years since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Details ahead. Stay with the PNA Newsroom. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, reminds local candidates in Iligan City not to post campaign materials outside the designated areas, most especially on trees. More on this from Rafia Kiram.
As more political candidates and parties continue to post campaign materials for the elections in May, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, in Iligan City reminded them not to harm the environment. Acting City Election Officer, Attorney Joel Dexter Nagtalon, called on the political candidates and supporters to avoid putting campaign posters in prohibited locations that might harm the environment.
That is actually a criminal violation because there is a specific law na prohibiting the posting of anything on any living thing, including trees, shrubs, plants. So, gawas nga na ay separate special law na, di po na siya allowed sa COMELEC Resolution 10713 or the Rules and Regulations implementing the Fair Elections Act.
As the task force Baklas held another operation on removal of unlawful election materials, campaign materials posted by political candidates on trees were removed. Nagtalon also said that the election materials should only be posted on common poster areas. He emphasized that posting on trees will not only harm the environment but will also trigger or create tension among candidates.
So ako lang pahimangno nila, let us follow the rules kay kung dili tatong sunod ani tanan pod mag-violate gawas nga dili siya makatabang sa atong environment Maka-create po siya og tensyon among candidates kung asa gipang butang ana. In fact, ang sa ako lang dili man na makapadaog sa ato mga kandidato ang mga karatula diha o mga campaign paraphernalia. Ang makapadaog diha sa ilang mga ipakita nga platforms of government nga makonvince nila ang mga botante na dapat sila ang pilion, dapat sila ang tagaan o kahigayunan nga moserbisyo sa syudad sa Iligan.
The Philippine National Police and Philippine Army also provided security during the removal of campaign materials displayed outside the designated poster areas. For the PNA Newsroom, Arafia Kiram of PIA Iligan City and Lanao del Norte.
A remote village in the Sipit Agusan del Norte that fell under the influence of the New People's Army finally got its own electricity over the weekend. Residents of Sitio Baboy Baboy in Barangay Camagong na Sipit witnessed the installation of solar lights on Sunday. They also received a 4-day training on basic solar power installation to be able to maintain the lights themselves. The project is a joint effort under the Provincial Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, which included the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority and the Army's 23rd Infantry Battalion. TESDA ADN Director Ray Cueva said the lack of access to electricity remains one of the basic challenges in far-flung areas where progress is hampered by the NPA. Sitio Baboy Baboy tribe leader Doven Talha meanwhile thanked the government for lighting up their community and the projects initiated for them. Hotels and resorts are expected to enjoy high occupancy for the rest of the Holy Week as travelers move around the country in the coming days. In a news release, the Philippine Hotel Owners Association, or PHOA, said hotels have been reporting very good bookings. This as Filipinos take advantage of the eased restrictions and travel requirements. PHOA President Arthur Lopez said the high demand is a welcome development for the accommodation sector, which has been severely impacted by the pandemic. With more travelers moving around and more hotels to welcome them, Lopez said the PHOA will continue to strictly implement health and safety protocols among its members. The PHOA is the largest private group of hotel owners, investors, and developers in the Philippine tourism industry. In news overseas, Vatican City is bringing back to life 2 years since the COVID-19 pandemic erupted as public activities led by Pope Francis are lined up in observance of the Holy Week. On Holy Thursday, Pope Francis will celebrate the Chrism Mass where priests will renew their vows. On Good Friday, a liturgy will be held to contemplate the passion and death of Jesus Christ, followed by the traditional Station of the Cross at the Colosseum in Rome. And on Black Saturday, a candlelit procession will be held inside the Basilica for the Easter Vigil. The Easter Sunday Mass will be held next in St. Peter's Square, followed by Pope Francis's Urbi et Orbi, where he will address the world and give his apostolic blessing. Last Palm Sunday, St. Peter's Square in Vatican City was swarmed with thousands of devotees. Pope Francis said that the Lenten season is a favorable time for personal and community renewal as he called on the people to continue doing good. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. President Duterte assures the public of peaceful elections. Wearing a face mask will stay until the end of the Duterte administration. New number coding scheme is being proposed to address traffic in the metropolis. And over 8,000 individuals passed the bar exams this year. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day.